Hey everyone, welcome to Mechanics and Magic Part 2, part of the ongoing Ask Shane series. Thank you so much for your comments, your replies, your feedback, and your questions. From all that kind of goodness, we're able to kind of always move things forward, stir up some thoughts, and potentially stir up change, which is what all of this is about. My whole intention is to kind of stir up thought, maybe inspire, stir up other ways of thinking, and nurture and nourish ongoing development. As I say, it's part of the ongoing R. Shane series, and we are looking at the mechanics and magic, something the innate um, kind of nurtured and shared with me over this last year. Part two. Hope you've enjoyed part one. Links will be within this video. So, part two, we're kind of exploring the power of the word, and within this, we're exploring the power of the written word and then the spoken word. Couple of kind of experiences that I'm going to gently share with you, but something that I kind of have shared before, but we can gently kind of explore and touch upon, is the power of words. Words have absolute energy. They are three-dimensional, especially when they come from deep inside of us. One of the things that I feel really passionate about, either on this YouTube channel or even over on our Facebook page, depending on how you're watching this, is the power of shared experiences, the power of shared story, the stories of our lives. And when we kind of share those stories and they come from deep inside of us, there's something that happens. It's that sense of that story becomes absolutely alive, and it touches all of those that we're sharing with, especially if it comes from deep within. If it comes from a place of deep experience, then it really, really touches us. Something over the coming weeks I am going to really explore with you guys is the power of story. And one of the things I get asked, saying, can you share some of your experiences that you've had with the wonderful people you get to work with, my most wonderful clients that I get to work with. And I think what it is those experiences, those stories we relate to at some level, all of us. It's metaphorically, the image to kind of see is sitting around a fire in a circle together and sharing the stories of their lives. They touch, they heal, they grow, they inspire, they motivate, they create transformation and change. So, I feel very passionate about the word, the power of words, either written or expressed verbally. You think about when you're a kid and you're learning at school, one of the first things we learn is to read and write. Then we begin to learn to spell. Okay, let's underline that word there, spell. We learn to spell. Spelling, spell. Okay, what's the association to spell? I'm going to share with you some very simple magic, some very simple spells, so to speak. But isn't it interesting that we learn to spell? Where's that association come from? How come it's cropped up in the form of spellcraft and the form of, magic? Where's that come from? It's really, really fascinating. We learn to spell, okay, because words have power. How we use our words have power. They affect, every day. If you turn on the TV, you are affected, okay, by words and language and emotion, okay. There's so much power, so much kind of energy to that. So I'm going to share with you two very simple forms, okay. So we've kind of looked at the written word, books. you've ever read a book that really captivates you and kind of really kind of draws you into the story, that's enchanting. Yeah. It is mesmerising. You know, that time where you've listened to someone share their experiences, it's mesmerising. There's so much power to written and verbal words, as we've said, the power of spell. And so, one of the ways I found that is really kind of supercharged, mechanics of magic, supercharged, is writing down. You know, I have a really beautiful, let me show you, really beautiful leather bound, let me turn it around this way, a really beautiful leather bound journal, okay, that I had for many years, and it's got pages there, many years that I have this, for the best part of maybe 15 to 20 years, and I really looked after it, but wasn't ever short of its use, okay. And then within this last year, I absolutely knew it was to kind of write down my rites of passage, my rituals, my spellcraft. Okay, so it's my book that absolutely, and it holds, you know, recipes for those, you know, times of the year, i.e. All Hallows Eve, and then again on solstice. It also has, you know, recipes for the winter remedy. Those of you that follow me on Instagram, you'll see some of the remedies that I've been taught. So it has fireside or winter remedy in there, you know, but it has my crafting, my spell crafting in there. And I'm going to share two very simple techniques very shortly. But what I do is I kind of write in there, and as you kind of write them down, as you ground them into paper, it brings energy to them, you know, and the more times you use them, especially as I was saying in part one, if you allow it to come from deep inside of you, it has kind of energy, it is dynamic, it is alive. Okay, so the more time you use them, the more, you know, the more you kind of resonate with them, especially as I feel that, you know, there's probably 1,000, if not millions and millions of rituals and spells you can find out on the internet. But it's kind of, you know, I have a little book of spellcraft, and I have my own book here, but it's about kind of taking it and working with it and allowing it to become your own, you know, so change this, change that, you know, change it to suit your way of working, and you won't go far wrong. So I'm going to share two with you that are very apt for this time. Right now, they're very apt, which I am going to talk to you about in the next video, about working with the cycles of time, working with the cycles of the seasons, the cycles of time, the moon cycles. And right now we're in a waxing moon cycle. We just passed a new moon, and the energy is building and it is growing. Okay, so both of these spells really make sense. One of them that I done very early on New Year's Day morning, very early, just as it was getting light. To me, that felt a very important time. There was a real stillness. Most people were either fast asleep, or you know, there were many people that only had probably just come home, or those incredible people that have been working over that time. But there was a real silence, a real stillness, and as the light began to kind of seep back into the world, I done this one. It's very simple. Okay, so opening the front door, opening the back door, opening the windows if you haven't got a back door, and just kind of standing there and centering yourself, just taking a moment to center yourself, and kind of allow yourself to kind of really feel rooted to the spot. And I lit some Palo Santo, which a dear friend had sent me. Lit that Palo Santo and just kind of allowed that to just drift into the doorway and begin to be carried out of the doorway, and and just kind of feel the space around me. And it's very simple. The words are, okay, blow out the old, blow in the new, blow out the false, blow in the true. Blow out the old, blow in the new, blow out the false, blow in the true. Blow out the old, blow in the new, blow out the false, blow in the true. And then you recite it 3 times, and one of the reasons being is it's times 3 is by the time you also get to the 3rd time you feel a sense of completion, especially if you're doing it with intent, you're doing it slowly, you're feeling the words, okay? You're feeling the words, alright? And just allow then that kind of all that old energy. So something that was beautiful to do for New Year's Day. As I said, we're now moving into a waxing moon cycle. So this is a really powerful kind of craft workings, a spell if you like, for the moon as it waxes, as it moves from new moon, okay? And some of you, if you follow my Spirit Meets Adventure, you would know that come on a new moon or even on full moon, I used to kind of wander in the landscape. I used to go across this woodland on those evenings down to a little spring that I had found, and it was almost like I was wandering around in the night down to the spring. I'd light some candles, I'd leave an offering, and I was almost, you know, sharing my thoughts and my feelings to the moon, okay? And this really resonated with me. Moon, moon, as you grow, take my intentions and make them so. Moon, moon, as you grow, take my intentions and make them so. Moon, moon, as you grow, take my intentions and make them so. Or make it so. Beautiful, very, very simple, and I think some of the best kind of ways of working is really, really simple. It's not complicated. I really resonate with that. As I say, you know, you can probably find 1,001 or 1,001 craftings and workings and rites and rituals and spells out there on the internet. But the thing is to, you know, make it your own. You know, I've got a beautiful little book. I'll get it for you. I'll show you. And I really like this. Very, very simple. We are going to share some books as we go forward. Everyday magic. Rituals, spells and potions to live your best life. But the thing about that is when I got it, I then started to kind of work with it, and then I started to kind of understand some of the dynamics of it, something that the innate was saying to me. It's all down to the mechanics of it. And then I was starting to weave my own into it. So, you know, take the skeleton and then make it your own, and you won't go far wrong. I'm going to leave that with you a little bit longer than I anticipated the video again today. They always are. But I'll leave that with you. Love to hear your thoughts, your feedback and your comments. As always, a heartfelt pleasure. As I say, this is part of the ongoing Shane series. And for those of you that are getting and following this on Spirit Meets Adventure, there's a whole wealth of library of videos over on my YouTube channel. Okay guys, speak soon, take care, have a beautiful day. Remember, make it your own. Remember the power of the word expressed verbally and physically. Words have power. Speak soon guys, take care, bye bye.